Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Go to Ruta.com. Everybody in the silver world is on the edge of their seats. I believe the new World Silver Survey 2025 is coming out today. It hasn't been published yet on the Silver Institute website, but aren't we excited? The most fraudulent document in financial history is about to be released for another year. Well, let's look at the lead up, the exciting lead up for the Silver Institute. They posted this on March 12th. Silver industrial fabrication is forecast to grow by 3% this year. 3%, with volumes on track to surpass 700 million ounces for the first time. Oh my God, 3%. 700 million ounces. So I went back, of course, the last survey. They had it at, they forecast, where is this? There it is. They forecast a growth of industrial 9%. Because they actually did math. They had 9% and it going to 710 was the forecast for 2024. 2023, which they changed from the year prior, which is ridiculous. They had it 654. So that's where they get the 9% and the 11%. Now they're saying it's 3% because it's going over 700. But if you keep the same denominator, the 654 from 2023, and go to 700, you get more like 7%. So this is another false advertising. Silver industrial fabrication forecast to grow by 3% this year, not 7%. At 700, it's like they can't do math. What is it really? It's up 407% in the last 4 years. Silver usage is only up 232%. That's physically impossible because they were adding TopCon panels for solar and not PERC, which, yes, they were thrifting out of PERC, but TopCon has about 50% more silver. Silver will continue to get smaller and smaller amounts, but it isn't keeping track with what solar is doing. We're going to do, I think, close to 650 to 700 gigawatts. Another massive jump this year, and year after year after year. And India, oh my God, India is saying we want to be the solar manufacturer of the world. So you got China, who was already the solar manufacturer of the world. Now you have India wanting to make massive amounts of solar and a massive silver importer. All it's going to do is increase imports of physical silver into India. Although they might import just the paste, the silver paste that they use to spray on all the solar panels. So we will see. Any way you slice it, the demand for solar is going up massively. The demand for silver is going up massively. And the Silver Institute refuses to talk about it. Now, when the survey does come out, for private road members, I'm going to do a deep dive on it, like I usually do. And I'll give you the scoop of what they changed, what are they trying to say, where are they trying to steer the silver investing community. By the way, you should be buying silver every day now. We are in uncharted territory. And the reason I say that is we have the India numbers just came out for imports. These came out today. And I had expected a very low number. And I got a very low number. It's total of $119 million for 3.58 million ounces of silver. That's really low for India. Why was it low? Well, let's look at the chart. What happened last month? Let's see, starting from March 1st, we have silver was down at $31, and the whole month it rose. India doesn't buy because they know the game of the banking cabal. They don't buy when the price is over the moving averages. During the entire month of March, the price was over the moving averages. I'm surprised they bought any silver. Every time it dips down, you have massive physical offtake from India, and they import it. So April is going to be a huge month. Look, this was April 2nd. They slammed it because it's second quarter. They slammed it from 33 all the way down to 29. My guess is April will be well, I don't know what the rest of the month's going to look like, but it looks like silver's above. I'm guessing 25 to 30 million ounces in a single month. And then if they hold it down for longer times like they did in the past, they'd get 700, 800, 100 million ounces. Imagine that. Maybe 500 million ounces in a month if they push it down far enough. That's how insane our markets have become. That's what a lie this market dynamic is. There's nothing that sets the price of silver other than the commercial riggers. They trade back and forth to each other in massive volumes. Even this low, one of the lowest month daily volumes on record was, and they still traded 250 million ounces of electronic bullshit silver. And it's just banks trading back and forth to each other to set the price of silver. But they're short and they can't get out of it. By the way, I've started writing a book. Cliff got me inspired. I started writing a book about the road to Ruta. It's probably going to be called the Ruta Code or something like that. Like the Da Vinci Code, the Ruta Code. Should be done in a month or so, is my guess. Just to give you a heads up, it's going to be fun. All right, some of the things that stick out. Yes, obviously, we're above moving averages again, which means, who knows, the banks are going short. Every time the price starts to rise, the banks are adding to their shorts. It does not change. It does not change. It never has changed. Since the invention of computers by the financial computing system by Alan Greenspan and friends, but mainly Alan Greenspan created our financial banking system. He blames himself for the 2 digits instead of 4. And then he implemented the trading programs with Arthur Burns, the head of the Fed, back in the early 70s. The shit hasn't changed since then. They use futures and options to control the price. It's even been admitted to by Rustin Benham, the ex-head of the CFTC, and Christian Carlo, especially, who was the head of chairman of the CFTC, came out later and said, when talking at a crypto conference, and said, well, we had to stop the rise of Bitcoin, so we introduced Bitcoin futures and options. That's what he said. Otherwise, the price would have kept going. Because in a fair market value, a price will surge to its fair market value. Willing buyer, willing seller type of stuff. But because Bitcoin didn't have a derivative market to control it, that's what they had to implement. This was a speech by Christian Carlo. He specifically said it was him and Trump and Mnuchin and Yellen had all decided we're going to take down Bitcoin by introducing futures and options. Voila. What more of an admission do you need? But anyway, interesting. We still have 60,000 contracts. Now, mind you, we're only halfway through the month. So 60,000 contracts are 300 million ounces. Should be interesting. Should be pretty interesting as to what goes on over the next probably 10 trading days. It's usually the last 2 days they'll take off 10,000 contracts. It's the criminals own these short contracts. I don't expect a massive month, at least not yet. See, that's the weird thing. When it was below the moving averages, we saw a lot more EFPs, exchange for physicals. And that's basically taking London out, taking the silver out of the New York market, or New York warehouse, out of the COMEX, and putting it into the London LBMA for delivery. That would be India doing that. So we saw a lot of that. They use that game, it looks like. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It was a huge start to the month, first half. I think there's about 140 million. You can check out Harvey Organ's blog. Let's just take a look. Harvey Organ blog, there he is. He does a great job over there, by the way. And then you scroll down. This is what I fly down. I mean, all the stuff is good there. I highly recommend. I already know most of it already, so I just fly down to the number. Yeah, 70. So 350 million ounces have already, in the month of April been stood for delivery, which is the largest of the year. Well, stood for delivery in London. Let's just say that, because that's what we believe happens. And what really happens behind the scenes, who knows? But yeah, we're at 700 plus whatever we had. Here. So that's another 200. That's 200 is 10. It's a million ounces. About a million ounces. So 71 million. 71 million ounces already in the month. Remember, the highest, I think the highest COMEX delivery month is 80 million ounces. So we'll probably do over 100, maybe, depending. It seems like I'm seeing a correlation now about the exchange for physical really only happens when it's slammed below the moving averages down here. And that's how they take physical, especially if you're working out of the criminal physical side of silver. All right, very interesting stuff out of Ghana. Ghana orders foreigners to exit gold market by April 30th. Ghana has ordered foreigners to exit its gold trading market by the end of the month, a new government body said on Monday, as the West African country looks to streamline gold purchases from small-scale miners, increase earnings, and reduce smuggling. No, this is nationalization. The beginnings of nationalization have started. If you have mining shares, good luck with those. They're all going to be nationalized when the banks collapse. All of them. Even in the U.S. Yes, even in the U.S. Because we'll be pissed. What will we use as money? What will be... Obviously, in the United States, we don't have to have somebody say, oh, I'm Steve Mnuchin. I'm beset, and I declare we're on a gold standard. No. No one would follow. I'm Trump. I declare we're on a gold standard. No, no one follow him. No one would follow anybody. There are no deciders of the next. There's no quantum financial system. There's no GFS. There's no, you name the 500 other, I swear this is going to happen, big Nesra and Gestra and all that. Bullshit. Ultimately, I had good hopes very early on when I started hearing about that. The first time I heard about Nesra was in the early 2000s. Oh, Clinton has signed Nesra, and now it's going to be implemented. It's all bullshit. It's a bullshit game they're playing because why? Why? Because it doesn't fix the problem. We're printing infinity money out the back door, as Elon has pointed out. I had speculated we were, and then Elon proved it. 14 computers that have no bank account paying all these bills. Trillions of dollars in bills. To who and why? That's the end game on the road to Ruta. Infinity money. So, of course, there's not going to be a central bank who's going to decide the new system. They're in on the con. There's not going to be a government who decides the system. We'll go back to our Constitution in the U.S. That will decide it. Screw everything else. We'll go back to gold and silver. Now, how that's implemented, whether it's smooth and integrated with cryptos or not, I would hope that the government, what's left of the government, will let people be free finally. And decide what they want to use as currency. I think taxation will be gone now that we're past April 15th. Taxation will be gone. There's no need to pay taxes to these people. If they have infinity computers, why do they need our taxes? They create money to infinity out of 14 computers. They've only found 14 so far. There's probably thousands of them within all the federal government agencies. Just paying bills willy-nilly. Doesn't matter. Giving people raises. Smuggling, hiding, stealing, all that bullshit. What happens at the end of the day? Mr. Biden will tell you. So Biden had a speech yesterday. This is the last sitting president of the United States. I think the most odd thing about it is when you hear the clapping, there's maybe 10, 15 people in the audience, including all his staff. Listen to what he had to say, and what he talks about is he starts to blame Trump for the coming destruction of the entire system when it was them, and they set this booby trap up. Let's create trillions, quadrillions of dollars. We'll give them to all our friends. Stacey Abrams got what, $2 billion? That's nothing. How much do you think Biden's got, or Obama, or the Clintons, or the Bushes? billions and billions and trillions of dollars. That's how you end the system. That's the only way to find justice there is to destroy what they took, the dollar. And that's exactly what Trump is doing. Anyway, listen up.
This new administration has made done so much damage and so much destruction. It's kind of breathtaking it could happen that soon. They've taken a hatchet to the Social Security Administration, pushing an additional 7,000 employees, 7,000 out the door in that time.
They should push 70,000 employees from Social Security out the door. It's all automated. AI can do their whole job. Why do they have so many employees?
Including the most seasoned career officials. Now they're getting ready to push thousands more out the door. Already we can see the effects. For example, thousands of people use the Social Security website every single day to check on their benefits and submit their claims. But now...
Why is he whispering? Because no one's in the freaking room. He's just whispering. And then later they probably held up a sign, be more firm. Listen to this.
The technology division of the Social Security Administration has been cut in half. And so the website's crashing. People can't sign on to their accounts. Why are these guys taking name and Social Security now? Well, they're following that old line from tech startups. The quote is, move fast, break things. Well, they're certainly breaking things. They're shooting first and aiming later. As a result, the result is a lot of needless pain and sleepless nights.
Well, ultimately, the result will be the destruction of the financial system. It's already written into the cards. Biden should know it, and they want to blame Trump. Trump took this on. He knew he'd have to do it. So he needs to do it. Get off your ass, Trump. Stop rigging the silver market, or stop allowing it to be rigged, and take care of this problem. Silver is the key. Silver is the silver dagger to the banker's vampire heart, shall we say. $1,000 silver solves the problem. There will be no JP Morgan. There will be no derivative market. There will be no HSBC, no stock market, no bond market, no savings accounts. That is what is in our future. And it's the only way to fix the real problem, which is they created infinity money and stole it. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. The only difference between $100 billion and $1 trillion is a little computer zero. What computer can't do that? All of them can. All 14 of those computers that they've found so far, and there's probably literally 50 to 100 computers that just pay bill out of no bank account at all. Money wished into existence. Just like what they do on the banking level. You don't need a Fed. You don't need Congress. All you need is a willing participant to accept it at the other side and then go spend it wherever you want. I know, it's frightening, but it's what happened. And now things are falling apart. With all this chaos, a first victim of basis trade blow up emerges last week. In the imminent aftermath of the trade basis implosion, we predicted that any minute now you're going to start hearing about catastrophic losses at multi-strat hedge funds. In retrospect, we had to wait quite a few minutes, almost a week's worth, but finally the first victim of the basis trade blow-up has emerged. According to Bloomberg, hedge fund Alpha Asset Management, which manages about $10 billion and specializes in macro and fixed income relative trading, lost hundreds of millions of dollars last week, accelerating its decline for the month of April as Trump trade war sparked historic collapse in the basis trade as we described last week. Absolutely. And there's dead bodies everywhere. Markets like a little bit of chaos. They don't like a lot of chaos. Dead bodies everywhere. And everybody's hyper leveraged. This is the end game. As these hedge funds collapse, so does the counterparty to JP Morgan, to Citibank. All these hedge funds are counterparties in the derivative side. So that's what's going on right now. Again, I will, for private road members, I'll be talking about the new silver survey. I can't wait to see what numbers they fudged. Make sure you print out I printed out all years past silver surveys So they can't go back into the past and change the numbers even after they release the report, which they would. These people have no no sense of justice or integrity. It is illegal what they're doing, by the way, but we'll see. So the interesting one I'm looking for, of course, is photovoltaics. They had, in the last 4 years, they had it going from 82 to 193 when it should have been 350. And this year it should be 450, but they got it going to 232. So we're about half. They do about half, or 60% maybe, of what is actually done in photovoltaics. So these numbers should be well above demand. Industrial demand alone should be, and is well above mining supply, which is 823 million ounces. Well above it. So it'll be fun times. I'm sure it'll be another deficit. They had projected a 215 million ounce deficit. No, they'll probably come in higher than that. Said, oh my goodness, we didn't expect it. But they're going to change this number. They're going to change last number's 184, somewhere up and down this line. So just keep an eye on what they do with the 2023 numbers. See which one they change to massage the 2024 numbers. It's a con. It's a fraud. It's brought to you by the Silver Institute, and it's done by Metals Focus. I even interviewed the head of Metals Focus, and he said, "Yeah, we change the numbers when we have new information." Well, last year they changed half of the solar numbers, half. This isn't 64% like they put. And yeah, if you take the 193 divided by 118, it is 64. But the 118 wasn't 118. That's what they changed. It's actually, they only counted 35% because they lowered that number so it didn't look as bad. Their cheating didn't look as bad. Insane world we live in. Anyway, I got to go, but make sure you check out the private road at roadtoroad.com. I'll be talking about that Silver Institute report. We're currently giving away that lottery ticket of cryptos, the Veritasium token. We're giving away one Veri token, load it on a paper wallet. You stick it in your vault with your silver, and you say, okay, I want to see what happens when Reggie Middleton's patent is actually applied and gets approved and withstands the onslaught. The first lawsuit is already going against Coinbase, which has a lot of Reggie's patents because it carries so many coins. Even so much of Reggie's patent covers the crypto world that crypto people, you need a little Veri as a insurance policy against everything else. Is my take. But we're giving those away with a private road subscription. Go check it out. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.